Got on video. Just.
Good.
Start. Take one. All right. I'm Carlos. I represent, or I'm working with Mr. Hacker. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Aaron. I'm working with Star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I understand we both were just kind of. We just both were sent by our superiors here to represent them. So I understand if either of us don't have like a good handle on what's going on. It seems like there's a lot of emotions involved here. So I guess I just wanted to get that out right away. So we'll try to get our. I like to get my client's interest, but I think it's important to get those resolved, or just know that they're there and not let them have such a weight on the conversation we're having today. So having mentioned that, it was kind of an incident where the both of them walked away, and Mr. Starr, your client.
Miss. Mr. Starr's my client. I thought you were calling me Mr. Starr.
No, sorry. Your client, Mr. Starr.
Okay, sorry.
And my client had a disagreement.
Right.
But where we go from here, there's a few options I see. One, the one that I don't think either do, and I think the one that's kind of fueled by emotions, is dissolve the company, split it up, sell everything, get rid of the relationship that the two of them have. I can tell you right now that my client doesn't necessarily want that. But with the emotions there, we weren't sure where you stood on that issue.
I mean, I think it's still an option.
It's still an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's our first option, but it's still an option. I don't want to take off the table right now.
Oh, and I wasn't asking you to.
Right.
Just, I feel like that is primarily fueled by the emotions being felt by the parties. Like, oh, let's just not work together because we're not working together. But that is an option. That's an option my client has. But
right, I understand we both have that option.
yeah, it's an option we both have, but I don't think it's the best option for both parties. But how do you feel about that, or anything else?
I mean, I guess I was coming in here not thinking about dissolving the company unless it was like an amicable dissolution of the company. But other than that, I kind of wanted to come in here and create some options for what we might be able to like work together and go forward, like what your client wants, what my client wants, what just generate different options for our agreement. And I guess one of those could be dissolution. So.
That's definitely there, but I think there's other options to talk about as well.
For sure.
But I guess where we got to now is that Mr. Hacker has been working on a tower scheme product, and that's been like the big issue between the two. What does Mr. Starr feel about Power Screen, or what does he want to see with Power Screen, or what does he want to see happen with that issue?
I think with Power Screen, he wants to figure out a way where they can move forward together, where Hacker and Starr can move forward together with that product. I don't know if your client is entertaining that option, or if he thinks it's just his own, or...
Well, like, that's the problem, and as I read through not only Mr. Starr, their background, and Mr. Hacker's background, is that was the problem with Mr. Hacker's moving forward, like you just said,
Mhm.
it wasn't happening because Mr. Hacker would show the product to Mr. Starr, and he denied him at least more than one time.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the conflict there, is that we want to keep this going, but PowerScreen was kept from going. So
Right.
that's that conflict that I'm feeling.
Right, well, I feel like my client, really feels remorse for not, backing up Hacker's PowerScreen invention at first. So, I don't know, I'm pretty sure my client would be open to apologizing if that's something that he's looking for, more like an apology, more of, validation for the work that he's done. Because I just know my client really wants to move forward with the company, with Hacker and PowerScreen.
Okay. And I feel that Mr. Hacker feels the same way,
Mm-hmm.
but he feels that the company could do so much better, or
Mhm.
it has the potential to do so much better by aggressive marketing, and that's been something that's happened with Mr. Starr. But it's understandable because Mr. Starr is kind of the money in this
Mhm.
equation. So just throw that out there. So I understand Mr. Hacker. He's bringing all the ideas, but your client's bringing a lot of the principle. But if there's a dissolution, Mr. Hacker has the actual capability to produce that.
Right,
So that's the difficulty here.
right.
But proceeding forward, what Mr. Hacker, what he really wants and what he really appreciates, or like what he wants to do in his life, is just to create more products
Mhm.
and have success with those products.
Right.
He's not necessarily about the bottom line
Mhm.
dollar amount. So as we're talking here, I just think Mr. Hacker wants a little more freedom
Mhm.
in how his products are pushed forward, and the freedom to create those products. Because with PowerScreen, he asks a few times, and he was told no, so he pursued it. He pursued it anyway,
Mhm.
and that's kind of the problem we have here. So I guess I'm talking a little too much here. Sorry, but I still think we can get something together. However, we have this pending deal, talks with Journey Gates. Do you know who Journey Gates is?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So as we've talked to them, they've also considered investing in our company, HackerStar.
The company as a whole, not just individual products?
Yes.
Okay.
One moment, sorry. But again, this goes down to the problem we had earlier, we just previously discussed, was the control issue about doing aggressive marketing and pursuing more products, because that's what Hacker's interested in. Sure, he'd like to make money, but he really wants to just pursue products and get them out there into the wide market.
Right.
So I don't know how you feel about, or how you feel that your client feels about that. Do you have any insight on that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I know my client really wants to kind of foster the creativity and freedom that your client has in like research and development, because he keeps coming up with these great inventions and applications. So I think if there's a way that we can make so Hacker's happy about his creative environment and the role that he's playing in terms of research and development. I don't know if that means moving into a greater research development role.
Well, just the freedom to pursue other projects, to develop other software.
Within our company.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest issue, though, is like developing products isn't not only like, getting deep in the code on the keyboard and creating the product. Developing the product is also developing it as far as how it's perceived in the market. And that's the issue that I feel both of our clients have had, is that Mr. Starr didn't feel that advertising was a good investment.
Right.
But that's what gets the product out there.
Right. Right. Well, one thing that I was curious about is the type of advertising that Hacker was doing. I don't know if you have any insight onto that, because I know in the 4th year, that's when they saw the greatest return for the direct resource and PowerScreen. So I was just wondering if you or your client had any insight into the type of advertising that needs to be done. Is it like something that you can expect in the market, that initially you'll advertise and you'll see a lull for a couple years and then you increase?
It's like
the
this.
return?
It's like this. PowerScreen is a, we'll start with PowerScreen as an example. PowerScreen is unique, and it has a certain applicability to for products that's unique right now. So when PowerScreen gets out there and is in the market, which is PowerScreen in the market, it's going to have its best potential to make money. However, if it's out there and then other competitors start, adding, it's eating up the market share. So that's when advertising is most important, is when we first put the product out there. So aggressive advertising for the product when that product is unique. If advertising is after the fact, it's not as effective because there's more competitors out there. So as far as advertising goes, I would say it's aggressive advertising when products are first pushed out into the market.
And then you can expect to see a return later, and within a couple of years, or what?
Well, it's not that you can expect a return, although I think it's safe to say there's a return, but it gives you the best opportunity to take advantage of that market share.
Like the new niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before there's other competitors that join and kind of gobble up that market share.
Okay. So your client is interested in just coming up with new niche market inventions?
New products like PowerScreen and new other software, but he would like the advertising monies to for these products to reach their full potential. Like, we can't retroactively go back to what are the previous products?
PowerScreen.
Oh no, before.
Or PowerScreen, PortaWord, and the other one, Resource Controller. Yeah.
Okay. The problem, as I saw, or as Mr. Hacker saw it, and I see it, and I kind of agree, is that Resource Controller and those other products were pushed out into the market, and there was no advertising for them. And then little by little, more similar products came out, and that kind of stymied the growth of those projects. So I guess with PowerScreen and future products, Mr. Hacker would like to see more investment put into getting his products out there.
Right. But at the same time, I know my client, I've looked at the numbers and it seems like a lot of the money is coming from